Hello everybody, it's Dawn and welcome back to this final part in the series of our letter writing set. So a very quick recap. In parts 1 and 2, we made our box and added a lid. Then in part 3, we made the writing paper, and we made the line paper for our letter writing set, or our writing paper. And today, in this final part, we're going to make the note cards, and we're going to get straight on with it. So, let's get started. The first thing you will need, I've made mine into a 6x4, but you can make yours any size you like. But if you want these sizes, there are 6x4 sizes, but obviously if you wanted to make them a 5x7 or any other sizes, you'd have to adjust the other mats, but it's very simple to do. So we're going to make ours a 6x4, but that's just a piece of ordinary white cardstock. You will also need a 6x4 white, well, it doesn't really matter what colour it is because it won't be seen, but you'll need a mat, also 6x4, and I've covered it with the paper, and I'll show you what I've done. As you can see, I've covered it on the back, and again, as you can see, I haven't covered it particularly well, but that doesn't matter either, because what we're going to do what we did with our letter writing, or our writing paper. We're going to make a template. So the first thing we're going to do is I've just used a glue stick on here, and so what we're going to do now, we're going to fold that or turn that over that way, and the sun has suddenly come out. It's pouring through the screen and all I can see is a black blob, so I hope you can see more than I can. I'll try and keep it in the middle of the screen. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to pop that to one side, and you will need a white piece that measures 4.5, no it doesn't, it's 3.5 by 5.5. So that's 3.5 by 5.5 inches, that is. And I will add all of these measurements in the description below. And you will need 3 watercolour pencils. Now if you want to use watercolour paints, you can use paints. If you want to use your pens, you can use pens, but just a quick warning, if you use pens, they'll come out a lot stronger. So I'm going to use watercolour pencils. Now you will need to do this quite firmly because we're going to be adding water, and of course that will fade it out a little bit. And I really should have put some paper underneath here, and I haven't got any spare, so we're going to carry on anyway. It's only watercolour pencils, so it'll wash off. So we're just going to put this on in patches. I've got 3 different shades of darkish blue. I'm using Oriental Blue, Prussian Blue and Ultramarine, but you don't have to use those colours. You can use whatever colours you happen to have, or any colours you like. And of course you might not be doing blue. You might be doing yours in a completely different colour scheme, and that's absolutely fine. So this is just the process. The process is exactly the same whatever colours you're using. So we're just going to colour different patches. And as I say, we do need it fairly strong because it's going to have to be photocopied. And when well, there are 2 areas with that. It needs to be added with it needs to be watered, and that will make it a little bit paler. And it will need to be photocopied, and which makes it slightly paler still. So you want to make it a bit stronger than what you think you're going to need it. So when you first do this, you think, my goodness, that's dark, but it won't be by the time it all is all finished. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. This won't take long. So we're going to wash over that, and my final one is Oriental Blue, and I'm just going to wash that, or colour that down the middle like that. And we don't need our pencils anymore, so we're going to pop them to one side. And it's alright, I just saw something quite vital that was about to go tumbling onto the floor. So there we go. And we're just going to take, what I'm going to do, I've got a little pot of water over here, my orange little cup, and all I'm going to do is, if I bring the cup in, you can see what I'm doing. I'm dipping my brush in, taking off the excess on the edge of the cup like that, because I don't want it too wet. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to blend it in these little circular movements like that, and we're going to do that all the way down like this. So we're going to do that all the way down. So again, we're just going to take off the excess. And if you see a few little bits that you think, oh my goodness, that's a bit too textured, you can always go over it and smooth it out if you're not happy with it. And you really must do, or what you really should have done, or what I should have done, was put some scrap paper underneath. But as we say, it's only watercolour, it'll wash off, so I'm not too bothered about it. And just wash that over. And if you see any little bits like that, you think, oh, I don't like that, just wash them out with larger movements, larger strokes. And you just keep on blending that until you're happy with the result. And I am happy with that result, so I'm going to put the water out of the way so I don't knock it over. Of course, I could always overreach and it could drop off the other side, but hopefully it won't. Now, if you're really bothered about that watercolour, what you can do, these are just some ordinary face wipes. A quick tip if you want to wipe it up quickly. These are just ordinary face wipes, like that. Some are blue, some are green, I think, some are pink even. And all you need to do is give it a wipe, like that. And hey ho, you've got a nice clean desk again. Well, cleanish anyway. It's got bits of glue underneath, but we don't worry about that. So there we go. There is our desk, nice and clean, just using a wipe. And what we're going to do now, this isn't quite dry yet. Normally I'd suggest you let this dry, but in the interest of the video, I would have had one that as they say, one I did earlier, and I didn't. I meant to, but then I used it on something else. So we're going to just risk doing it while it's still wet, but this is okay because it's only a template. And we're going to bring this into the middle like this. It doesn't really matter which part you put your glue on. Again, this is just glue stick, but I'm using the orange glue stick, but any one that gives you a white milky film like that, I'm not sure if you can see it actually, but you can see it when you put it on. If it gives you a white thick texture, then that is the equivalent of a tacky glue. But just make sure you've got enough to cover it, but as I say, it doesn't matter too much. And it's quite warm in here, that's drying already. And once we pop that down, because we made it half an inch smaller, you've got that beautiful border all the way around, so it's not too pronounced. Now, the other thing you're going to need, and what I'm going to need, is my book, because I forgot to look up the size of my circle die. Yes, I'm going to put that up there. Thought it was. You will need next a circle die, and this one measures 3 inches diameter, which is 3 inches across the middle. And again, we're going to just put some strong, you can use ordinary tacky glue if you want to. Now it's up to you where you put it. You can put it in the middle, at the bottom. I'm going to put it slightly towards the top. And that was white when I first did it, but it's been near my pencil, so it's a bit grubby now, but make sure you keep yours white. So there we go. And the final thing we're going to do for this template is I've got the other butterfly from my wrapping paper pack. It came with 2 butterfly gift tags. So I've used the other one. And all I'm going to do, again, is put some glue on the back of that. Now this is, as I say, a template, so don't worry about it too much. As long as it's strong enough to stay down while it goes through your copier. Because there we go. That is your template. So again, if you're making these either as gifts or as items to sell, you can make these up as refills. People might buy the box set, but then they might need refills as they go to use them. So once you've got it to that stage, I have made 10 in my set, but you can make however many you like. And what we're going to do, we're going to run that through our machine, our colour copier or our colour printer, and put it on a colour copier. So take it to your printer and do up to, or however many you like. In my case, I've done 10. I've just photocopied that 10 times, and then I've just cut it out. And when you've done that, you will have 10 pieces that look like that. So that's just my copier, my template. So that's going to go up there. And then all you need to do, the rest of it is really easy. You bring in your 6x4 piece of card, your cardstock, your note card. Again, we put some strong glue on there. If you want to use liquid tacky glue, that's absolutely fine. If you want to use tape, that's fine. But you're going to be using an awful lot of tape if you do it that way, okay, especially if you're selling your cards. And of course, the problem with tape is you don't get a second chance. So give it a really good stick, because this is the bit that people are going to be receiving. So I'm going to start in the bottom corners, and I'm going to just push it down like that. If you get any little overhangs like that, it doesn't matter too much. There are two ways, well, there are three ways of coping with it. You can either ignore it. If it bothers you, you can either put some white, or some, not white, blue ink on it, or you can just snip it off. But it really won't matter because it won't, I don't think anybody will notice. They'll be so struck by the beauty of your card, they won't notice. So there we go. And then once you've done that, you need to make 9 more, like that. And of course you will need some envelopes. I've just grabbed about 4 or 5 envelopes. And all we need to do now is bring in our box set, flip open the lid, pick up our envelopes. Actually, it might be better to do that one at a time. So we're going to pop the envelopes in. I'm going to suggest that we tuck them behind the others, otherwise you won't see that beautiful butterfly. So pop your envelopes in, take your note cards. Actually, I'm telling you what I'm going to do, so that we can see the butterfly on both. I'm going to move that over. So I've moved the writing paper over. If you tuck that in, okay, you can't see the butterfly, but it will be there. You can see the little top edges there. And then all we need to do, I'm going to put this flat so that I can tie it up. Even I can't tie a bow with one hand. I'm not that clever. So we're going to tie up our bow, stand it up, and there we go, guys. That is your letter writing set completely finished. So you can mess about with a bow and fuss with it all you like. I know I will. But I'm a bit fussy where bows are concerned. I'll fuss with it for ages, but I won't do it now, I promise. So once you've finished, that is your set all complete. And when you open it up, you will, sorry about that. I can't open things one-handed. I know some people can, but I can't. I'm not one of them. So you open it up, your recipient will open it up and they'll see those gorgeous bits and pieces inside. Now, if you wanted them to see the note cards, what you could do is make them a 5x7 and that will make them a bit taller and they will see them there. But I'm going to leave that entirely up to you. So I'm just going to, for the last time, close this up, do the ribbon up. It helps if you haven't got glue all over your fingers when you do ribbons up, but there we go. There we go, guys. That's it. That's our completed letter writing set with our box, our writing paper and our note cards. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. Thank you for all of you who've given me a thumbs up. For those who have subscribed, welcome to our new subscribers. Lovely to have you with us, and of course our long-term subscribers. Thank you for all of your comments that you've given. It's lovely to hear them, and do keep on giving me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell because there's lots more to see. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, especially those who've asked for this particular tutorial. I hope it's been helpful to you and it meets most of your expectations anyway. So I'll see you soon with another video. And in the meantime, enjoy what's left of your weekend. I hope you enjoy the week ahead. Have fun, everybody. Stay safe and happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.